Hey guys, I'm back. And after not so short of a break, I am here to make another video. Sorry, I'm at school and it's hard to find time for my YouTube hobby. But since we're on the brink of World War III, I think it's up to me to answer the question on everybody's minds. Has Russia been visited by extraterrestrial beings? And if so, do they have their technology? In today's Ancient Aliens Debunked, we have Russia and aliens. Time for clip one.
To be the Soviet Union's first documented UFO encounter, an event they commonly refer to as the Russian Roswell.
The Soviets have in their possession no less than the remains of 5 crashed and recovered UFOs.
So according to Ancient Aliens, the reason why Russia initially succeeded in the space race was because they came into contact with extraterrestrial beings through Cosmicism, otherwise known as Russia's Roswell. Before diving into the details of this claim, first, someone needs to understand that this claim stems from the idea that Roswell is a fact and the United States government did in fact come across extraterrestrial beings. However, unfortunately for the United States, the aliens they encountered were dead before the United States could interact with them, which made reverse engineering of the spacecraft nearly impossible. Simultaneously, across the world, the Soviets came across another crashed alien spaceship, convenient, right? Which had aliens in it. So the Soviets used this technology to get ahead of the United States in the space race. So, does this theory hold up? Well, unfortunately for Ancient Aliens, this house of cards immediately falls down when you debunk the Roswell myth. It has already been proven that the craft found in Roswell, New Mexico, was a weather balloon. And before you put it in the comment section, I do not want to hear about a cover-up by the US government, because this was the height of the Cold War. The United States literally covered up everything. The fallen balloon was part of the United States project called Project Mughal, which was a secret US project meant to help spy on the Soviets' nuclear weapons programs. Like most Cold War testing, the United States knew that they could not let this information leak. Therefore, they did the testing in remote parts of the American West. In fact, throughout the 1950s, the US Air Force threw dummies in silver out of planes to try to test how different suits would do in high altitudes. Witnesses of those dummies would find their remains, and with the bright silver costumes, they would assume that they were fallen aliens. The fact is, the Roswell incident was just a radar balloon being tested by the government. If you don't believe me, there are dozens of peer-reviewed sources and declassified government documents which can explain this very theory. Even if the Russians reverse-engineered alien technology, do you really believe that aliens came to Earth with 1960s rockets? Think about how many space shuttles blew up. There is no way aliens used this crappy technology to go across the universe.
Have the United States and Russia been working together from the very beginning of the space race?
Both Russia and the US know about working extraterrestrial technology.
This is really where you get into the nonsense of this episode. According to Ancient Aliens, in the middle of the Cold War, the United States and Soviet Union made a secret alliance to share their alien technology with each other. Apollo-Soyuz is cited as the main evidence toward the supposed treaty, but apparently, according to Ancient Aliens, the Soviet-US alien alliance dates back to 1961, when Yuri Gagarin became the first man to go into space. More evidence toward this alliance is the United States eventually overcoming the Soviets in the space race. According to Ancient Aliens, it does not make sense that the United States would be the first country to make it to the moon because the Soviets simply had too much of an advantage. Because think about it, guys. The Soviets had the advantage. They sent Sputnik, and they even had the first man into space. There's no way the United States could ever catch up. Obviously, this claim is ludicrous, but I'm going to explain why. First off, yes, it is true that the Soviets took the early lead in the space race, but that doesn't mean that the US was that far behind. Just 1 month after the Soviets successfully sent a man into space, the American Alan Shepard became the first American to go into space. In fact, the United States was shocked that the Soviets accomplished putting a man into space before them, as Shepard's scheduled launch was so close. Moreover, the United States also successfully put satellites into space after Russia's Sputnik satellite. The fact is, the United States was right with the Soviets, and they finally cemented their accomplishments over the previous decade with sending the first man on the moon. And before you put this in the comment section, yes, the moon landing was real, and I don't want to hear about Stanley Kubrick and the Shining conspiracy theories. I also want to bring up how ludicrous a US-Soviet alliance would be in 1961, considering, I don't know, the Cuban Missile Crisis was literally happening the following year. There is no way two governments who supposedly made an alien alliance would have been about to nuke each other. This doesn't even take into consideration the dozens of proxy wars and regime changes the United States and Soviet Union supported during the next 3 decades. The fact is, these two countries hated each other, and they were constantly at odds with each other. They did not have a common alliance in the name of aliens. Considering the acts they did to one another, that's enough proof for me.
Is it possible that the truth about extraterrestrial contact was hidden behind the Iron Curtain of the former Soviet Union?
It's called Cosmicism. The cosmos began with a philosopher, a guy named Nikolai Fyodorov, in the 1870s and 1880s, who inspired the father of Soviet rocketry.
So according to Ancient Aliens, one of Stalin's major initiatives during the Great Purge was to kill anyone who researched extraterrestrial beings. They also claim that proof of Russians witnessing extraterrestrial beings is through the rise of Russian Cosmicism. So first I'm going to go into the Great Purge. This claim stems from Genrikh Ludwig, who was a Vatican spy working in Russia. Apparently Ludwig came across evidence of ancient aliens in the Vatican, and the Russians wanted to shield that evidence from the world. I find this hard to believe, and instead I think Stalin killed Ludwig because he was, a spy for a foreign government and not someone who came across ancient alien technology. One of the institutions Stalin wanted to eliminate during the Great Purge was the power of the church. So killing a Vatican spy does not seem unbelievable to me. So as you can probably guess, one of the objectives of the Great Purge was not to eliminate ancient astronaut theorists. Instead, it was meant to eliminate political opponents who could question Stalin's rule. In fact, the Great Purge's initial targets were Trotsky supporters, and were meant to solidify Stalin's power. Over 700 people died as a result of the Great Purge, and it is one of the worst atrocities in human history. People were killed for seemingly no reason during this time. And the fact that Ancient Aliens demoted this atrocity to a conspiracy theory about how Stalin wanted to kill ancient alien theorists is really sad and pathetic. So now I'm going to go across the claim of Cosmism. Yes, it is true that Russia had a rise of Cosmism, but that cannot be related directly to extraterrestrial contact. Cosmism originated from the works of authors such as Jules Verne and H.G. Wells, both of which were science fiction writers. Notice I said fiction. Though there are conspiracy theories that Jules Verne's writings are actually stem from scientific fact, there are actually whole cults on this, so that's pretty neat. Verne's writings have been proven to just be fictional by modern science. Moreover, Cosmism itself is just an extension of transhumanism, which is a deeper philosophical theory which any scholar will tell you is not based on interactions with aliens.
Специальную папку. На ней написано «Совершенно секретно». И она целиком и полностью посвящена пришельцам, которые посетили нашу планету.
But told Medvedev, quote, "It's important for him to give me space." And to which Medvedev replied, "I understand your message about space."
The revelation was extraordinary. President Obama's quote was, "It's important for him to give me space."
The final clip that Ancient Aliens uses to prove that the Russians have alien technology is a video of former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev saying that there are aliens. Obviously I've not read every classified document that Medvedev has ever had access to, but he's clearly kidding in this interview. Like, look, the reporter he's talking to is clearly trying not to laugh. The other clip of President Obama telling Medvedev that President Putin needs to give him space, which for some reason the Einsteins and Ancient Aliens thought this meant outer space. I really have nothing to say about this other than President Obama's term was about to end, and I'm sure he didn't want to talk to Vladimir Putin every Tuesday morning. And if you really think that this is a valid claim, I'm just going to read international space law to you. According to international space law, there is no claim for sovereignty in space. No nation can own space, the moon, or any other body. Meaning, even if Obama wanted outer space, under international law, he can't claim it, nor does Russia have the authority to grant it to him. So, should we be scared of Russia? Well, yes, the country is run by a madman with the largest nuclear arsenal on the planet, but should we be scared that Putin is going to be unleashing secret alien technology against us? Well, no. A country which seems to be lacking in innovation and has their whole economy reliant on fossil fuels doesn't really strike me as a country who has alien technology. Japan. You, on the other hand, I think you're hiding something. Thank you, and remember to like and subscribe for more Ancient Aliens content. I'm going to be trying to post more videos during the school year. Sorry I've been so inconsistent, but I'm going to be better, hopefully. Just subscribe, please.